silent. Have you ever driven near a body of water and smelled something forcing you to roll your windows up? Well, it's actually a common phenomenon called red tide, and it's typical in the later months of summer along Florida's Atlantic and Gulf coastlines. The Smithsonian Ocean website 2018 states that this is a natural occurrence, yet studies suggest that harmful algae blooms are increasing in frequencies, likely due to climate change and nutrient pollution from farming and landscaping. While red tides have been affecting coastlines for centuries, the severity of harmful algae blooms has become more apparent in the past decade. Marine life is being affected so rapidly that a state of emergency has been declared in Florida. Fatalities of multiple species in oceans and rivers are being reported almost daily, and if these trends aren't reversed, marine populations could change drastically in the future. Karenia brevis is the culprit behind these deadly red tides, and when supplied with excess nutrients, they multiply at a more rapid rate, creating a toxic environment. Understanding red tides and what factors contribute to the increasing frequencies of these toxic blooms can help control future outbreaks and allow faster cleanup processes with less fatalities. To begin, there is an extremely fine line between a natural red tide occurrence and harmful algae blooms, which is what is affecting Florida's marine life so rapidly. Karenia brevis is an algae that can form in masses and make the water appear to be colored red, which is where the name red tide originated from. Majority of algae blooms are beneficial to our ecosystem, and algae is a main factor in our ocean's food chain. But when a population spike occurs in Karenia brevis, it not only creates a harmful environment for humans, it creates toxic and deadly marine waters for marine life, according to National Ocean Service 2018. As the Washington Post 2018 states, the increase in red tides could be because of climate change, as warmer waters are congenial to algal growth. But the constant housing development growing with Florida's population points towards humans being contributors alongside our changing environment to this current and worsening crisis. As a result, scientists are learning more about red tides and their fluctuation to changing environmental factors to help lessen future outbreaks. This current crisis in Florida has provided an opportunity to get national attention brought upon the seriousness of controlling these blooms. Through the use of organizations and tools to help educate the public and try to reduce the number of harmful blooms. CBS News 2018 explains that scientists are working on a machine called an ozone treatment system, which will allow water to be filtered, get rid of red tide, get rid of toxins, and any excess decomposing matter. This is a way to immediately begin reducing the number of fatalities and the number of fatalities in marine life and the number of hospital visits for humans. This red tide has lasted much longer than its normal span. USA Today 2018 explains how difficult it is to pinpoint an exact cause for the influx of blooms, but with research continuing alongside cleanup efforts in counties that have been affected, it is possible that scientists can figure out ways to prevent long-term damage to the marine life and the environment. In conclusion, while this red tide has become a serious crisis in Florida, it is also becoming beneficial to understand these erratic and toxic outbreaks. While algae blooms are a common occurrence, the severity of red tides and other harmful blooms in multiple bodies of waters is becoming deadlier and more dangerous to the environment. Is it possible to keep the influx of red tides down while the nutrients that compel them are growing just as rapidly as Florida's population? Or is Florida's marine life predestined to suffer a toxic and harmful bloom every year? Most importantly, Florida's beaches and rivers are being littered with horrible scenes of marine life succumbing to this red tide. It is quite possibly one of the worst blooms in years, and if these trends are not reversed, then we could possibly continue to see red tides getting worse throughout the years.